All right, so this is day 5, 6, 6, 7. No, 6. No, 11. Fuck. I know. Math, no good. English, pretty good. 11, day 11 on Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It took us 11 fucking days to get to this. Rosario's here. How's it been to be back in View Askew Lane?
Incredible. I love you. I missed you. I love you. I missed you. I'm sorry I couldn't bring my daughter so we could have play dates. I think it's so funny that we're all grown-ups now and still up to shenanigans.
Now, when was the last time? Last time it was Clerks 2, 2006, so it's been about roughly 13 years, during which time you've gone on an incredible fucking journey career-wise. Your career's always been like fucking all over the place and big. But since we last worked together, you went into the Marvel U as well, what I always thought of as the night nurse. What was it like, man, going into that world, making out with Luke Cage, making out with Daredevil, being buddies with all these cats? Like, what was it like?
It was wild. I mean, when we first came on board, there was just sort of this fear and hesitation of coming back and doing the Daredevil story. And so it was so interesting with everyone who was on board. They didn't even really know the scope of what this deal with between Netflix and Marvel was going to be, and all of these different shows. That was the idea behind it. But we didn't. If that first season didn't work out, it would have just nothing would have continued. So I didn't know when I was signing on that I'd then end up on 5 different shows over 3 years. It was sort of like, let's just try this thing. And he wasn't in the full costume. Most of the people who were shooting on it didn't even know what we were shooting. It was called Bluff. Really? People would come back and I'd be like, okay, I'll see you next week. They're like, I'm coming back. Like, they didn't even know what episodes they were in. They kept it so hush. And then it exploded, and it was one of those really wild things to go, I'm walking around with Mike Coulter, and he's just like, Luke Cage. People are screaming it out like we're in the actual show, off camera. Like, yo, Luke Cage! It was like we've just completely brought the Marvel Universe properly to New York. It's so great.
Now, your acting career begins like on a stoop, right? Tell them your secret origin story.
Not so secret. I was 15. I had just turned 15. And wildly, my dad told me to go downstairs and get discovered because they were shooting a commercial on the block. And he knew they were looking for dancers. And I'm always, that was the person caught in the living room vacuuming the same spot for 4 hours, listening to the same song on repeat, driving everybody crazy. So they're like, he said literally these words, go downstairs and get discovered. And I ended up in that commercial as a silhouette dancing. But I also ended up finding this guy that I had a crush on, who worked on this project, who wore the same outfit every single day for 3 days. It's actually pretty disgusting when I look back on it. But at the time, I was like 15. I was like, he's cute. I'm wearing an Adidas tracksuit. And because I was hanging around all day, every day, looking at him, I ended up standing there when Larry Clark and Harmony Korine and a bunch of the crew who were scouting for locations came through and saw me laughing because I was talking to this guy who looked like Jesus trying to ask for a place in my building because it was a squad, and I was just laughing that I was humoring Jesus, so I had this big goof off. I mean, it's so weird, like all these little things that if they had not happened wouldn't have created this very specific moment, which was a laugh that turned their heads. And because of it, they came up and said, hey, we're doing this movie, you should audition for it. And then I called my dad, of course, to be like, some weirdos who were talking to me about some movie.
Could be porn.
Could be scary. And then when you look up Larry Clark's photography,
it is porn.
You're like, oh my God. And then my parents, who were super cool, just said the only thing that I couldn't do when I got the part was smoke. They're like, you're 15 and you shouldn't smoke. So I'm like, all the things that I'm saying and doing, totally no problem. They're like, no, that's fine. We know, we trust you. I'm like, great, awesome, okay.
For those that don't know the movie Kids, it's pretty intense flick. Even today, like if you watch it today, you're like, Jesus, they get away with this? Yeah. To have your parents be like, just don't smoke.
Yeah, they're in it. They're like briefly in it, and it's like such a time capsule, that film, because we use a payphone in it. The entire premise of the movie doesn't even work today, trying to look for someone. You would just geolocate them on their last Instagram post now, you know what I mean? But like, it's such a specific moment, and there's this time, which is my last scene, where Chloe Sevigny's character, Jenny, is making a phone call, and she runs across the street, and then she bumps into my parents. And my mom even threw like a concerned look or something over her shoulder. It was like the greatest.
Good. How are you? I'm good.
Rosario. Trying to be slick. That wasn't my consolation.
In terms of as long as you've been acting, because you were truly like discovered. Some cats are just like, hey man, I train, I do this, blah blah blah. But you caught their attention by being you. Like the you popped, and that's when they're like, oh, you're interesting. Your entire fucking career is predicated on you. How then do you proceed as an actress where you're like, well, wait a second, they wanted me. Now they want me to pretend to be something else. Will I lose that essence of me? It sounds like a tricky thing.
No, because that very first character wasn't me. I mean, my mom, I understood that character. I noticed that switch the year before, and we have daughters, so we also understand like when that, independence kicks in and suddenly lyrics to songs that you thought were awesome are suddenly like wildly inappropriate. And, and where I was growing up, it was like a bunch of girls who were dating drug dealers, and we went from stickers to suddenly be like, well, I'll do a raw dog, what I'm saying? Because I don't like it, but then, I don't want to lose him. And you're like, wait, what is happening right now? This is the worst conversation ever, and we're at recess. What is going on is horrifying. So I remember that switch over at 14. And then I got the script at 15, and my mom was pregnant with me at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and got married at 18. So like being a daughter of a teenage mom, and just there were so many conversations I was privy to up until that moment playing that character that I had access to portraying her, but I was very much not her. So that was the thing for me. I didn't think much of it because I only worked 4 days on the film, and then the money that we got from it, we ended up moving to Texas. Because I got paid $1,000, and my dad grew up there, and my mom wanted to go and visit. He hadn't seen some of his extended family for a long time, so they of course just took my money, and we all were like, yeah, I'm so glad I worked in this movie so we could go on a family vacation. That's exactly what I wanted to do with my cash. And then we ended up moving there because my mom, just wanted to provide something different for us. So a year into it, I get this call from Larry and everyone, we've been looking, where the hell have you been? Where this movie's coming out. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, you're picking people off the street, so clearly it's not going to be successful.
You had no idea that it was kids.
Yeah, no, not at all. And then I come back all of a sudden, and I remember it was Harper's Bazaar flew us out. They wanted to have the whole cast for this photo shoot. And I got flown out, and it felt like this whole Pretty Woman thing. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting like a limo. And then I came out, and I saw everybody, and I saw the film. And it was the first time watching myself perform. And I just remember just being like, oh my God, I believe I'm this chicken head. That's amazing. In my community, I never actually get confused for that because I was the girl who, did really well in school, and I was a tutor and a babysitter and more of a square. But all of a sudden I was like, hey, this is paying attention has done something, given me access to something, and I think I'm good at it, and I liked it. So it really took a while for me to kind of get that. And then it took a while to break through the stereotype of it because people did know that I was cast off the street. So then they assumed I must be that character. Ah. And I was like, no, actually, I can be a total professional. I can play a different range of stuff. So it really wasn't until my senior year when Spike gave me He Got Game. And I auditioned for that 13 times. But that was when it really started switching around. Again, still kind of playing a character in some, somewhat of the same sort of world and kind of community and struggle and circumstances, but a totally different nuance and just different layers to it, and just learning so much from him, and it just really continuing to give me an opportunity as the bar raised so high to have access to just great material. And so it took a while for people to get it, I think. And also it's interesting watching back because I really was so New York in the beginning. I don't remember it like this. I feel like I've talked like this my whole life, but it was like, yo, what's up? And I definitely graduated into the whole thing, and it's where I've grown up. It's amazing to have been in this industry for so long.
All right, guys, usually Kevin does this. Kevin's way better at it, but Jay Muse here with the one, the only, Brian Quinn. I'm super stoked. Quinn and I have known each other forever.
23 years.
23, look at that, he knows, 23 years. View Askew, yes. And I love it. I'm so excited because he's doing way better than I am now. He's doing shows and selling out arenas. Fair enough, but you sell out. To me, it's like I feel like I do more podcasting, stand-up comedy, such things. I don't know what you'd call it. It's not really either one, but he sells at arenas, bro.
But you're a legit American icon.
Well, fair enough.
what are
Okay.
you talking about?
Never mind. I'm the man. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I am super happy for him because I've known him 23 years and he's doing really well. He went from View Askew to a fireman to being sexy and being on Impractical
I was
Jokers.
sexy the whole.
That's true
the whole
too.
time.
That's true. But it's great to have him here on the set, and not only as Brian Quinn, but as Blunt Man.
Yes, look at me. Even one of the takes, I recreated one of your lines. Look at me, you sloppy bitch.
Yes.
I don't know if it's gonna make it, but I did it. I'm a fan. I'm such a fucking huge fan.
Look, man, Shannon's back. Say hi.
Hi.
See, it wasn't really a sequel. We're not quite sure what the movie is. It's called Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and that's more of a joke and a play on, like, we make fun of reboots and stuff. But technically, this movie is what they call a requel, which is a reboot and a sequel at the same time, which is kind of what Force Awakens was. But erase all that modern day terminology. It did not feel like a sequel until yesterday when Shannon came on set and suddenly was like, oh shit, this is literally part 2. Man, what does it feel like to be back?
Amazing. So much fun, and I'm so grateful you included me.
How could I not, man? We literally couldn't move forward on the story without the mom, and you're the mom. And it's also like the nice idea of, like, I've watched that movie for years, and it was like, that relationship would never fucking work. So we get to say, of course it didn't fucking work, but like something came from it and shit. Like,
But are you okay giving away that I'm a mom? Ah.
when they see this, they'll know. Yeah. Shannon.
And a brunette.
That's right. Shannon returns to us darker-haired and with a child. Not Shannon, Justice. Shannon's got, tell them about the kids you do got, because fuck this movie. This is enjoyable, and it's awesome to see her back, and watching those two together again was really magical. But Shannon's doing the Lord's work, man. Like, fucking, we had to bring her out of Africa literally out of Africa, because she's over there doing the noble shit. Tell them what you do.
I'm living in South Africa right now, working on my foundation, the Shannon Elizabeth Foundation, and we're doing initiatives to help with the poaching crisis and help change laws and help buy some land to protect the land and uplift the surrounding community and build a lodge, and we're about to come out with Rhino Review, which will be one of our first big initiatives. So we're doing
Rhino
lots.
Review?
So Rhino Review, it's rhino specific, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So it's meant to inform people about rhinos. From the beginning of time till now, you'll get to learn everything you ever wanted to know. But then also along the way, what we're going to do is uplift the organizations and programs that are making the biggest impact on the ground for rhino. So if you're just wanting to get involved, you know who to trust, you know who's good, and you can know where you're putting your money is going to a safe place.
All right, guys. It's a little late for me, everyone really, but for me, I'm a little tired because I've been doing a lot of off camera, but then I have hours here in between. My point is, I'm laying around falling asleep. These guys got the hard jobs because they can't go to sleep because they got to be ready to get up, stand in hot light, stand there. It could take 20 minutes. I mean, this one probably isn't as long. I'm sure you guys have worked on movies where it probably literally does take an hour or so. So I'm going to let them explain. I'm going to let them give you their names, tell you guys what they do. I always like to do this when I've done interviews in the past. I like going around. I've done this in the past. We should have done this too. Maybe we still have time. Going around and getting people's names and what their jobs are and explaining what their jobs are, because not everyone knows what a stand-in is. Not everybody knows what a grip is or a best boy or a fucking flapperjacker, whatever that is. I don't know either, but maybe you can explain. But I'm going to give you the mic, and you're going to introduce yourselves and say, who you're standing in for, because I know you're doing a little bit of everybody and this and that. And tell us if you're having fun or not having fun, and what's the favorite movie you ever worked on? And your second favorite movie you've ever worked on. But here, I'll let you start the show, baby.
I'm Ryan DeFazio, and I'm Kevin Smith's stand-in, and this has definitely been the best one I've ever worked on, fun-wise. There's no close second, I don't think. I think, yeah, and there'll be nothing that comes close.
Before this movie, then, I guess the best way to say it is, before this movie, what was a movie you're like, man, I had a lot of fun doing this movie. Everyone was cool. I got to see stuff that I'd never seen before, maybe stunts or action.
Probably Terminator Genesis. A lot of action, a lot of stunts. Yeah, that was a fun one.
I'm Tanya LaFleur. I'm standing in for Millie and Shannon Elizabeth and any other tall girls that they need. This has been one of my favorite projects because it's a family atmosphere. You know, they treat people well, right? These are cool guys to stand in with, my brothers. I like the Green Book. Was fun to see that process. It was, yeah, it was a period piece and
One Best Picture, right?
yeah, one Best Picture here.
I'm Henry Frost. I'm standing in for Jason Mewes. Yes. Yeah, this is awesome. This movie's been a pleasure. I was a big Clerks fan growing up as a kid. It was my favorite movie. So when I heard this was coming down here, I tracked down every AD in town and found out that Seth Hansen was the second AD, and I shot him a text and I got the job. So sweet. Before this, the funnest movie, The Beach Bum, out in Miami. I stood in for Matthew McConaughey, and it was Harmony Korine who did Spring Breakers and Kids, and yeah, that was a good one.
That's awesome thing you just said, because two things. One, it seems like out here, because it's New Orleans and a lot of stuff's being shot out here, a lot of people, like you knew Seth before this, you're saying, and worked with him. It seems like a lot of the grips worked on Purge, and you worked with this crew and that crew, which it seems really awesome because you probably, and you knew Seth, so you were able to get in. Now, if you're out here and you're local, how did you get to be all the way out in Miami shooting a movie?
I normally stand in for Matthew McConaughey. That was my fourth show with him. Yeah, so my first with him was Dallas Buyers Club, and from there I did True Detective, Free State of Jones, and I heard he was doing a movie in Miami, so I drove out there and I worked with him there.
What's the one of the longest times you remember ever when they explain what a stand-in is? You'll get to hear what I mean by how long have you stood in one spot while they set up a crane or a light or whatever it be. So I don't know who wants to explain this.
Go for it.
I think the longest I stood was an hour. Does that sound a little bit longer? About an hour, because you're not looking at your watch. You're looking at the sight line. So you do lose track a little bit. You stand on a mark, and they set up the cameras and lighting, and that way the actors don't have to do that. They can concentrate on their lines, concentrate on being the character, and that's why it's important that you're the right height and you're the right coloring, so it can make the production go faster and more efficient.
That's a good explanation. Last question. I was going to end on that, but I have a good one now. Has there ever been any movie you worked on where you're doing your job and maybe like the actor, and you don't have to tell who are the actors, you don't ever have to spill the beans, but maybe came in and was like, you're in my fucking way. Anyone ever an asshole to you on the set? And we'll end with that. Anybody have a story? You don't have to tell you don't have to tell us who it is, because I'm sure you don't want to. If you want to spill the beans, you can. If you don't want to, all right. So we'll pass it along. You could say if it hasn't happened, cool. If not, and then we'll end it on that. Jay Mewes here. We're gonna end on them, and they'll all say goodbye. Thank you, and they're gonna end off on this awesome question: who was an asshole?
Definitely no actors. Otherwise, yeah, everything here was really fun, and I had a good time doing this one. It was a highlight of my life. Yeah, we've definitely, yeah.
No, yeah, it doesn't have to be on this movie. I'm just saying, in life, have you ever been, because you always hear horror stories, and I honestly have been lucky over the years. People will ask if I work, working with Chris Rock and Ben Affleck or Matt Damon or George Carlin or anybody. Luckily, I've never had an asshole. I've had people who aren't as friendly as maybe the next, but never anyone nasty to me. So I'm just wondering, I know I have heard stories of people coming on set, and I haven't got to experience it, but saying, don't look them in the eyes, because or someone who plays a character and they play that character, don't ever call them by their real name, call them by the character name. I've never got to experience anything crazy or cool.
I worked on this, I'm not going to say any names. Yeah. But no, this one actor that I stood in for, it only took about 3 days for him to come up to me. And it was a shot, I was like looking in the car window, like at my reflection. And he came up and he got right in my face and he was like, we looked nothing alike. I was taller than him. He had brown eyes, I had blue eyes, different skin tone. I mean, it was completely off. And he was like, oh, isn't it funny that they hired somebody much younger than me, much taller than me, much tanner than me? And he like looked over to Video Village and he was like, get this guy out of here. I can stand in for myself. And they didn't fire me. They didn't fire me because like I had worked with all these people before, but they just gave me another stand-in job for someone else, and he stood in for himself the rest of the show. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the worst I've had is just when you talk to them, small talk, and they don't talk back. They just kind of look at you and keep walking.
All right, guys, there you go. This is Jay Muse chilling with the stand-ins on Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. They're all been awesome. They literally have been here every day with us for, I don't even know how many days we've shot. It's been like 4 weeks in my brain, so that's how many days it's been. So, Jay Muse, say it's snooch to the nooch. Sorry, guys. This film might be all over the place because we're walking and moving. Usually, we're at a standstill, we're at a halt. But this is this is called what you call the martini. I am already wrapped. That's why you see my hair back. You see me with my chill A-Lo sweatpants, which are so fucking comfortable. And I'm just comfortable right now. But there's one more shot, which is what they call martini, which I guess the meaning means that you have a martini before the end of the night or something. And then there's the Abbey Road, which I still don't get. Anyway, doesn't matter. Look that up. But anyway, we're going to go around chit-chatting a little bit, saying goodbye to people, and fucking with people. So you might get to see, this might be the best piece of footage on this whole thing, only because now I've decided to take the mic. Hi, guys. Guys, oh, there you are. Sorry. There's the camera. Guys, I'm officially back. Yeah. I'm officially showing my hair on my chest, which is a lot of it. Lack of. There you have it. They honestly made this movie happen because it was a long road to the reboot. Oh, shit. I didn't even mean to put that in there, but I did. Because we were supposed to do Clerks, didn't happen. Then they started working on Mallrats. So these guys were working on shit and doing budgets and trying to make cities happen with tax credits and all sorts of things that I don't really understand, because this is all about funny and sexy. And this is all about brains. I do want to thank these two and say thank you very much. We couldn't do it without you. Then we're going to move on to someone else. Thanks. Sorry to interrupt. Virginia. This is Virginia. She was in the movie tonight as well. This is Kevin's sister. We do, yes. She's known me since I was about 13, and then she moved to like Japan or something. I don't remember seeing her forever and ever, and then she came back with kids and husbands and things. And but yeah, we've known each other a long time. So, but she got to play tonight. Thanks, thank you. And she played a little bit with us in the movie tonight, and she's also here for the end of the movie shoot as well. So. Very excited. Now we're going to move on. But you were talking to Jordan and Liz, and I don't want to interrupt that. I did interrupt it, but we're going to move on. So, Tracy. Wait, we got to talk to you. I don't think I've talked to you or anyone's talked to you. Tracy, this was something I like to do. It's the last night. I like in Clerks and all, Clerks 2 and Jay and Bob and all that. I went around and asked people. I feel like your job is a very hard job, very important job. She is the line producer, correct?
Yes.
And her name is, she's gonna give you her name, tell you what she does, what a line producer does, and how important it is. Really quick, and then you'll say goodbye. This is the martini last of it. Oh my goodness. We were having so much fun, and then shit got weird with the husband and wife over there. No, I'm just kidding. Here's Tracy. She's gonna give you all this info, and then she'll pass it back.
I'm Tracy Landon. I'm the line producer.
What does line producer do? Because again, not everybody knows movies.
Line producer. The word line comes from a line in the budget above the line and below the line. The line producer sort of straddles the line. Above the line are the creative people, the people that have a stake in the movie, the writer, the director, the actors, the producers. Below the line are the technicians, the nuts and bolts people that actually make the film. So a line producer straddles both of those lines and reports to the above liners and sort of manages everything else that happens below the line.
Like I said, one of the most difficult jobs, I feel like, behind the scenes and stuff, she makes everything roll, like, because things have to end at certain times. If not, they go over budget and things are crazy. But yeah, but thank you. She didn't want to be on camera. Not everyone wants to be on camera. Not everyone wants to talk to Muse. But again, I do think it's cool to find out what people do, because again, line producer, I want to know exactly what that is. She explained it great. I didn't even know that. I just said, oh, she does some stuff. She makes things work. All right, we're going to go talk to this gentleman. You can see him cool hanging against the wall and shit. He's going to give us his title and name, and he'll explain what a first AD does, which I told you, she's behind the scenes, the line producer, but I honestly do, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here, I feel like the line producer and the script supervisor are two of the hardest jobs. Not for this line producer, I mean script supervisor, because he's like, I don't know, he's a little weird, but we won't say anything. Hopefully he's not around, he doesn't hear me. Newt, there he is. Dano, please explain to everyone what a line producer does. First AD, sorry. First AD, see how it's late. And we also want to explain, because I know what martini means, because I know it sort of means like last shot before the end, which is like, hey, let's have a martini before the end of the night type of thing, right? I think that's what it means. Or beginning of the night. But also there's like Abbey Road and Abby Singer or something. So if you can give us your name, first and last, first AD, and what the definition of a first AD, what they do, and give us those Abby Singers and all that stuff, please. And here we go.
Okay. Want me to take this? Sure. Oh, no.
Make it easier, otherwise it's like
it's better when you hold it, Jay. My name is Dano Katzman. I'm the first assistant director, and it's the hardest job on a movie set, no matter what. You know why? Let me tell you why. I'm not going to ask you why. I'll tell you why. Because I have to chase Jay's motherfucking ass all over set all fucking day and look for him and find him and get him on the set and then make every single thing happen and then go home and try to get some sleep that night.
Worry about, oh my God, tomorrow, is he going to come on time? Is he going to fucking, am I have to chase him? Is he going to be in his fucking trailer taking a dump? All that shit. So I agree with them. But there's more to that than just chasing me, a first AD, right? What do they do exactly?
Exactly what they do. They're ones who create the schedule, work everything out with the director, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, where we're going to do it. The director's more creative. This is more technical and more, what's a good way to put it? It's more behind the scenes. The people who are physically making the movie, not creatively making the choices. So we have to do a lot of details. I'm the head of every single department. There's maybe 20, 25 departments, and I run every department and make sure everything happens, along with a cameraman and along with my line producer who's staring at me right over there. The one you just talked to.
Yeah, we just spoke to her. And so I'll let you go because I know it's you have a lot to think about. But just explain, is there 2 or 3 things? So there's the martini and the Abbey or something like that. Can you explain them?
Abbey is the second to the last shot before we finish. And there's a martini, which is usually the last shot just before we finish, but sometimes it has a few olives.
And what is the Abbey mean? There's a meaning behind it, correct?
Abby Singer, who is a famous person who used to, just before we would finish, say, okay, this is the Abbey, meaning second to the last shot.
Because he was like, look, I'm Abby Singer, and this is the second to last shot because I'm done after this.
I'm done after this, something like that, yes.
Okay, there you have it, man. I love it. There you have it, guys. I think I'm done for now because soon they're going to come back and they're going to actually be working, and I'll get to talk to more people and we'll get to see the end of the shot. But I should have done this the whole shoot because we could have gone through everybody, sound and PAs and Best Boys. We talked a little bit about that. We talked to a stunt coordinator. But yeah, there's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, a lot of names and titles. There's a photographer. The one we have here is shit. But whatever. He has a cool mustache. Newt! He's right there, and I saw him out of my peripherals. That's why I said that. No, he's great. He does have some really cool pictures, actually. I think he brings them home and someone else does it, like probably his girl or something. But, nang.